What is up, everybody? Got another Paladins video, and something I did not expect, and a lot of people did not actually expect. We're actually getting a PTS for just pure balance changes that are actually going to be implemented into the game within the next 1 to 2 weeks. So, got a huge list of balance changes. I don't know if these were balance changes that were going to go live at the start of Season 6, but they never got time to test them, or they didn't get time to actually get them into the patch on launch. I don't know, but got an entire patch notes. If you guys want to go check it out, it's on their website. A lot of people don't even know about this. This was actually just thrown up a couple hours ago. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, just kind of skimming over this. There is a lot of decent balance changes here. So they're trying to take the game and actually take feedback from the community, from the players, and they're trying to put into the balance. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. We'll talk about it, but if you guys like these videos, leave a like, subscribe, share the video. There's a lot to talk about. Let's get right into this. Like I said, I don't know when this is going to be going live. I'm assuming within the next week or two. But if you guys want to go play on the PTS right now, there's a PTS up with all these new balance changes. If you guys want to go test them. Up first, we got a Zon. I'll throw the patch notes on screen for you guys as I talk about them. Got a Zon. Deliverance. Reduce the lockout time after landing from 1.6 seconds to 1.3 seconds. Pretty much just so you're able to get back into the fight after your ult. Pretty much mainly like a quality of life change. Nothing crazy. I don't think this will do anything really for a Zon to make it much better, but it's there. Buck, shotgun. They increased the ammo from 5 to 6 on his shotgun. I don't know what this is really going to do for Buck. I really don't. He does have one more ammo. I think that it is huge in certain situations where you would have to reload after running out of ammo, and so you don't have to reload. You got one extra bullet, but I mean his problem is still pretty much the same in that he lacks anything apart from close range damage, and if he can't get into close range, he doesn't do anything. So it doesn't change the major problem he has as a flank, but it's better than it was, I guess. Cassie, here's one I actually really like. If you guys haven't seen this, then go check it out. But Cassie's a difficult champion to master, requiring a lot of game sense to maximize her potential, blah blah blah. On top of that, her ultimate is very niche, and more often than not just an opportunity to shout "Go Ziggs" in a non-hyper cooperative lobby. Which is true, it doesn't really do anything in your random solo queue pub lobbies or ranked lobbies. It's mainly just there to reveal for your team. Your team never really capitalizes off the reveals, which is true. Unless you're in a duo or stacking or in your higher tier lobbies, of course. But with all in mind, we sought to increase the consistency of Cassie's damage so she can better utilize her damage outside of her high burst combos and contribute to her team's game plan. Statistically, she leads a lot of damage compared to all the other champions, sitting comfortably in the 7th spot, despite her win rate could be better, sitting around 47 to 48%, which ain't bad. By increasing her attack speed on her crossbow, she'll put out more damage, blah blah blah. And the buff to disengage, she'll be able to combo more often. Whatever. Overall, here's the things that are going to be changing. Scout now also increases attack speed by 20%. So you're going to be able to shoot your crossbow 20% faster for what I think is 8 seconds during Scout, which is huge. That's crazy. We got Disengage. They increased the damage from 200 to 300, which I don't think really matters. The main thing that really matters here is the cooldown, being from 12 to 11 seconds. And you also have cooldown cards that you can actually use in your loadouts, mainly for big game. And she's going to be a lot better for big game and shredding tanks. It's really good. And then we got the crossbow itself. Increased the fire rate from 0.75 down to 0.65. So it's getting a 0.110 of a second faster fire rate, which doesn't seem like much, but it actually is a lot. Especially with how this game, the frames and shit in this game kind of work. So overall, really happy. I wouldn't say Cassie really needs buffs. I do think her ultimate is really underwhelming, but I'm not going to complain at any of these changes. Overall, W, first out of this patch, the first W, that actually makes sense balance-wise. It's crazy. I'm actually talking positive about the game, y'all. We got Cass Bane. Wow, another flank that actually needs some nerfs. Let's see what they do. Cards. The following cards will no longer trigger off of non-champion targets. A brief respite. All these cards. I don't know what all these cards do. I think one of these is his movement speed card, where he gets movement speed for shooting at something that, whatever it would be, it would get movement speed. Now it only affects champions, no longer deployables and all the other stuff, which is kind of a huge nerf. Talents, measured cadence. A weaker rogue's tempo projectile no longer triggers on cards, which is huge. So you can no longer get stacks and like movement speed off that as well. His weapons. The Love can no longer generate piercing momentum stacks for hitting non-champion targets. Reduce the bonus attack speed from sharp momentum stacks from 5% down to 2. And then increase the attack speed from it fires a little faster, but you don't get as much, I guess, damage or whatever, or as much stacks and like stuff from it, I guess. And then the Ward can no longer generate sharp momentum stacks after hitting stuff that isn't champion target. Like, Caspane does need nerfs. Like, everybody, including me, and like, we've all been asking for Caspane nerfs. He's crazy right now. I don't know if this will actually affect his damage numbers very much, because I think his damage, especially his ult, when he has an ult, he has crazy damage, but mainly his movement speed and that type of thing kind of going to be getting nerfed. I don't know, I don't really play Caspane all that much, and I'm not really that good with him, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it actually is a pretty substantial nerf to him, because it doesn't seem like it will be. So next we got Genos. You know, I'm really happy that Genos is getting buffed, because he's a really good support that's just kind of lacking, and he actually is getting some really solid buffs. Increase the initial heal from 330 to 450. Decrease the cooldown by 1 second. That is crazy. And then they increase the mark duration by 2 seconds. These are some huge, crazy buffs. Crazy Genos buffs. And the one thing that is actually good about this is it's actually promoting a healing playstyle, y'all. No damage Genos bullshit at all. You're actually wanting to be healing with Genos, and it's promoting healing with these buffs to Astral Mark. It's crazy, I know. Overall, I think Genos is actually really solid the way he is currently in game. Even with these buffs, like, it's gonna be crazy. I think with Chronos, was it gonna be like a 3-second cooldown on his heal? Yeah, with like his max cooldown card and all that type of stuff, and then with like max duration card on his Astral Mark, that's gonna be crazy. I think that's, I don't know what it actually, the exact number is right now, but I don't know. With an extra 2 seconds, that's gonna be pretty damn cool. Cosme Empowered Curse, they're actually changing one of her talents. Why don't we just remove Cosme from the game? Because there's no way you're gonna ever change her balance-wise when herself is like an absolute failure and poorly designed champion. Empowered Curse now increases ultimate charge gain rate by 3% per stack instead of increasing her attack speed. Who cares? Delete her from the game, please. Remove Cosme from the game, because I guarantee you nobody will care. Just like Moji. Khan. You know, I think Khan's actually incredibly good right now. These are some of the buffs that I'm not really mad at, but I necessarily don't really agree with, because I think Khan's incredibly good. Reduce the cooldown of Battle Shout by 2 seconds, and then they increase the heal by an extra 250. And then they actually buffed his damage, so he's able to get ult more now, because he's going to be doing more damage at base. I don't know. I think Khan's incredibly good right now. I don't think he really needs to be buffed. The only thing I would say it actually needs to be changed with him is I would rework Leon's shield back into firing line. With the talent that got removed previously a long time ago. That's the only change I would do with him. I don't think he actually needs these buffs, if I'm being 100% real, but I'm not going to complain, because they are solid buffs. Up next we got Lilith. Lilith's getting some huge nerfs. These are some crazy huge nerfs. Blood Cannon, which is her extra health card, getting reduced from 250 per level down to 200, which is crazy nerf. It may not seem like much, but 50 per level is a lot. It adds up real quick. Ultimate Blood Moon, decrease the blood regeneration per second from 525 down to 475. So you're not going to be able to spam your abilities as much as you can during your ult. I don't think she really needed that nerf. I think that's kind of a dumb nerf, but I think her only real thing is she's kind of too survivable. Like, I love Lilith and everything, but, like, I do think she is incredibly good. I think it's the main thing about her that makes her good is her survivability. They are nerfing her survivability. That's the only nerf I would really give her. I think the ultimate nerf's kind of unnecessary, but it's a PTS. Maybe they'll change it and they'll come to their senses and change that, or just revert that and completely remove that. Nyx, there's nothing with Nyx here. She's being investigated. Hopefully a lot of her bugs get fixed because she is incredibly buggy. And there's a lot of bugs. I don't play her nearly enough, and I haven't played her nearly enough, but like from some of the people that do play the game a lot more and play Nyx a ton, there are some major like no hit registration issues with her, like her actual like base damage when you're like trying to beat up somebody and like punch at them and stuff. Like there's some, like a lot of the time you're not doing damage to people when you should be. There's some major bugs for like champions that have shields where you're like supposed to be doing damage to them and you're like shooting them and like hitting them from behind, but they're still holding up their shield, like a Fernando or a Khan, but like the damage is going into their shield and not onto them, which is a huge bug. There's a bunch of bugs that they need to fix. Her loadout card is still bugged. It's completely missing from the game. Hopefully that shit gets fixed ASAP, because otherwise that's going to be really bad. I also have a video with Nyx coming out on the way as well, with talking about Nyx and kind of talking about Nyx and Ramattra from Overwatch 2, which if Nyx is actually I think she's actually disabled right now. She's not even in the game, which sucks because I don't have any gameplay of her. I guess I can't even make that video, but that's a plan for a video I have coming up here probably in a week or two, so if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned. 7. Holy shit, 7's getting some nerfs. Finally. Explosive dodge. Reduce the mine range from 35 down to 30. That's good. Reduce the damage by 50. Okay. His mobility cards. Wow. They're nerfing his mobility cards. Finally. This is what we've been wanting. It took them long enough. Like, a lot of this shit should have been done. Like, I'm fine with all these changes, but like, it's really pathetic on that we're first now getting some of these changes and some of these nerfs to some of these champions. Stuff like Cast Bane and stuff to like 7, 100%. Like, this type of shit and these type of nerfs should have been done a long time ago, and we're first now getting them. It's kind of pathetic in that aspect, but at the same time, it's great that we're finally getting them. So, I'm not going to complain that much, but it is really pathetic that it took this long to get these nerfs. And he's been broken for so long. Spring Loaded. Reduce the cooldown from 35 to 30%. Weapon. Heavy SMG. They finally reduced the range, everybody. Holy shit. And same with the automatic. So he can't beam you from all the way across the fucking map and then roll onto you in less than 2 seconds and kill you at close range afterward. Wow, finally. This is huge nerfs too. They reduced it from 300 down to 200 and 130 down to 110. That's pretty much 120 in total, pretty much, I think. And then auto range from 175 down to 150, and then 115 down to 95, which ain't too bad. The main one is the burst range. The auto is pretty damn good too at medium to long range. It's mainly burst, because it does a lot more consistent damage, a lot easier to use. Skye. Here's one I don't actually agree with. I don't think Skye needs any buffs. This may be an unpopular opinion, but Skye is incredibly annoying, especially on console. It's mainly PC they want to buff her for, and I'm in the boat where I think Skye does not need any buffs at all, with how annoying she is to play against. I don't know why we're buffing Skye. Why are we buffing Skye? So she's more annoying and more aids to play against, and she wants to make you like rip your hair out when you're playing against her, when you have a team of losers in rank that just get farmed, and then you're stuck on a team of losers that can't do anything. People that don't know how to buy Illuminate so she can farm those teams. Smokescreen now has 2 charges. Cooldown is increased by 2 seconds, but she pretty much has it up way more, so it doesn't really matter. The cooldown, it's pretty much null and void at that point, because you're getting an extra charge. Talents. Preparation no longer increases movement speed or ammo when casting hidden, whatever. And then the wrist crossbow is getting a passive now. she has a passive for her main weapon, which increases her movement speed by 30% while in stealth from both hidden and smokescreen. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that that's gonna need to be reverted and completely removed. This can't go into live. She does not need that. That can't go into live. So you're gonna give a stealth character with that already farms your lower to mid tiers of play, which is pretty much the only players at this point that are actually playing the game. Barely any like good players are playing anymore. They've all moved on. Don't believe me? Go look at the numbers for the game recently, especially with season 6. She like farms all those type of players, and you're gonna give her movement speed so she's able to do her job better and move around the map faster now. During stealth, come on now. That needs to be removed. I don't think Skye needs any buffs. I would remove all this. Apart from the talent and the deck thing, I would remove the weapon and the ability, the 2 charges on smokescreen. She doesn't need to be buffed. Skye does not need to be buffed. She's incredibly annoying the way it is, and she should not be changed at all. Shaolin buffs. Wow, it's crazy. I've been bitching and complaining how bad Shaolin is currently and how bad he's been forever already. And they're actually increasing his health, finally. And then the longbow's getting a bit of a reduced cooldown, or a reduced draw time by 0.1 of a second. Which doesn't seem like much, but if you're like constantly shooting, it does add up. So, and that's not even with his talents or anything, or any loadout cards. Torvald, this is one of the balance changes I do not agree with at all. Torvald is the first now being good for the first time in Season 6 with the Season 6 launch. And the first time he's been good in almost 4 fucking years. He has never been good, and never has been as good as he has been until Season 6 launch patch. Now they're taking all the buffs they gave him, and they're nerfing him for no reason. This can't go into live. Huge L balance change. L balance change right here. You can't nerf Torvald. He's the best he's ever been. He's not even that broken. He's actually decently solid. He's actually viable and actually worth picking sometimes now. He's not broken at all, like it says here, that he's buffed over the edge or whatever it is. Come on now. Do you play your own game? Fucking stupid shit. Come on now. For every W there is in this balance thing, like there's a couple huge L's as well that just make no sense. 10 steps forward, like 100 steps back with some of these. Then we got Willow. This is the only buff you're going to give to Willow. Now refuels ammo after casting an ultimate. Who cares? This will do nothing for Willow. She's still going to be one of the worst DPS in the entire game. This is the only buff you can give to Willow. Come on now. I can think of a million other useful quality of life changes or like small buffs you can give to Willow to make her a million times better. And I'm not even being paid to balance the game. Come on now. Another L for a balance change. It's good, but that should have been something that's been changed a long time ago and doesn't do anything for her. And then the ranked rotation, pretty much what this is, they're taking Frozen Guard out and they're putting Frog Isle into the rotation. And then they're putting Dawn Forge into the ranked rotation now, so you can play on the new map, finally. I don't know why that wasn't added at the start of Season 6. Why are we still... We got a new map already for like 4 months ago and it's been in the game. And it's still not into ranked. I don't know why that wasn't added on Season 6 launch. We're first now getting it, but whatever. And then a few known issues. You guys can check those out. Nyx is disabled, which I thought about earlier and I said earlier, which is confirmed here. And then Caspian's cards. There's some bugs with Caspian's cards and they're not supposed to be proccing on certain stuff. And then Skye has no description or whatever. Something with their description is bugged. Overall, let me know what you guys think of these balance changes. We got it, like I said, kind of unexpected, kind of like a mid-season. Or I guess, like, I wouldn't say really mid-season, but like... Because the season isn't even half done. Like, we're still at the start of the season. The patch has only been out for about a month, so... And I guess maybe like semi-mid-season balance patch for the game. I mean, it could be better. We could be getting nothing. So at least they're trying something, I guess. At the very least. Even though some of these are really weird balance changes or they make no sense and don't do anything. Overall, there's a few good ones here. Like the Cassie changes are great. The Lilith nerfs are pretty damn good. There's a few other ones that are decent. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys like these types of videos, I also do stream Paladins, Overwatch 2, Apex Legends, Splatoon 3, Gonna be streaming a bunch of other new games here as well in the next couple months when they do finally release. So if you guys are interested in that type of stuff, feel free to drop by when I'm live and subscribe so you get notified when I'm live. Apart from that, I'm gonna get out of here. Peace out, everybody, and thanks for stopping by.